Greetings, motors. 'Tis that time of day once more. It sip almost immediately. The elf has returned. Maxed out barrow. Welcome. While on painting you shall be referred to as Maxu. Oh man, it's the simple things that make me laugh. It's like, have I asked before if you're a real human and where you're located in the world? The elf appears to be real, and he is Australian. And he's a cheap fuck. And he at least looks like a crackhead. Coming in immediately and being like, I am not a crackhead. You might be giving yourself away there. He claims to be an Aussie. God only knows. I mean, his profile picture is a female elf, so confusion is clearly present. To Acre Indy Barrow, Desmondo, welcome to Paintingu. How do we know Australia is even real? I know. I mean, like, so many questions these days about the nature of our reality. Oh. Questions that perhaps some contemplation, some speculation, some ponderation, and some paint may bring some clarity. Clarity? Oh. Allow the music to permeate your spine, for it is almost time. But everybody's favorite painting show, where sometimes I don't even paint. I'm that good. Watch me descend. Paintingu! 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 It's Paintingu. Paintingu! Paintingu! Paintingu. It's Paintingu. Oh. Paintingu! Painting you! Painting me! It's Paintingu! Way off time this morning. Quite stiff. It's Paintingu! Yo! Oh. Ah, Bennu Shapiro has returned. Look, I like what you do, okay? And I like to sponsor your little show and bring it to the masses. Much appreciated, Ben Ooh. However, I refuse to deal with goblins and ghouls. Is it any wonder that ghoul or ghoul? Ghoul? When you speak ghoul in Japu, it kind of sounds like Jew. I do not deal with ghouls or Jews. They sound quite similar. Oh. My chi is not yet ready. My spina does not know its timer for painting. I must remind it. Oh. Today, we again return to Aruba. We have many things left to do in Aruba. A wah pedal must be placed somewhere. Some more cars, but now flying ones. And the framingos have been armed and are now dangerous. Yes, Carlos. Of course, Carlos. In a moment. No, don't look at me like that. I bring you in when bringing you in is necessary. The people are liking and subscribing. I mean, Carlos, relax. Put the bucket back on. Only I am allowed to remove your bucket. Carlos, put the bucket back on. That's a good tiger. Dear God. That overgrown kitten vexes me no end. All you have to do is sit there and hold a sign. I don't ask much of you. After saving you from a Colombian drug lord and rendering you sober, I use the term rightry, you would think you would be more grateful. It appears you are like the elf. Ungrateful. Dishonorable. Cheap. Which reminds me of today's phrase. Today's phrase of the day. Urufu wa yusuyashi kenyaku kade wanai. Which means elves are cheap, not thrifty. Sacred knowledge is all you will receive here on PEINTEINGU. Never trust an elf. Or dwarves. The ones with the pointy ears and the ones with the really long beards, even on the females, should not be trusted. And they should only be communed with when utterly necessary. My best friend in high school, after we graduated, stole a flamingo from the zoo, took it back to a party, and they ate it. Oh my God. What's flamingo taste like? I mean, you stole a flamingo from the zoo and took it back to a party, and they ate it. Could you imagine being that flamingo? You're just kidnapped in the night. Like you're already like imprisoned by the zoo, and some fucking lunatic kidnaps you, and they brings you to. It'd be like, for anyone who has seen the movie Apocalypto, that's probably what that flamingo felt like. Like something similar, like just get dragged to an unknown location against your will, and like because it was a party, the flamingo's like, you know, what's all these like noises and like all these people are acting crazy, like, and they fucking eat the thing. Oh, that's barbarous. That's utterly barbarous. The Japu know R2R about Kisanaboshi o Kabuata Otokotachi. Jesus Christ. Men of Smarhat, without even naming them. Oh God. They're known so well by their deeds alone. They just have such a strong vibe of like, you know, like, I mean, come on. I mean, like, they're kind of hard to miss, considering, like, if you're gonna wear hats like that and have like sideburns, like fucking, you know, like you may as well be wearing a fucking wig with some of the sideburns that they fucking have and all, like, and then the way they dress, and then the way they behave, you know. Once you come to the realization that diamonds are a total fucking con, like that to me was one of the most like, that's hilarious. Like it's fucked up, but it's like it's hilarious. That's another reason why I love the bear community. You know, it's like making dark, traumatizing realities hilarious. That is, if not the one of the best ways to conquer all of these deceptions and tricks and lies and all this shit, is to just take the piss. Like we do here on PEINTEINGU. Watch my top knot move. Rov it. Riv. Raff. Rov. Paint. I have the newspaper story. There's more to it even, but that's the highlight. It tasted like goose. PEINTEINGU. Oh my God. Also stole a 3-foot chameleon? Is that? Are you for real? Is it a typo, or is that like? I didn't think chameleons got that big. A 3 foot chameleon? 3 feet's like the size of a badger. Like what the fuck? I thought chameleons were like this big. Now an iguana, I believe, like iguanas get pretty big, but a fucking chameleon? When he took it back, he put it in a rare bird pen, and it killed a couple of rare birds. He got arrested, like. Oh my god. That's one thing about the Americas and like Canada, obviously, is like you guys have such like open like landscape and so many communities and so many like counties and like what are essentially fucking like countries. I know you call them states, but it's like there's so much space, there's so many people, and the laws are such that like some of the things that people get up to, like the outback in Australia, like the outback in Australia is just an absolute wild west. Like still, even today, like do you know what I mean? Like even with the modern Australia, the Victorian government, fucking like trying to like be all woke and fucking like progressive and all this fucking shit. You go out of the cities and like you still just have these like lunatics who like murder crocodiles with knives and fucking like it's just, man, I miss the crocodile hunter. What an absolute legend. Like imagine being the first guy to swindle an idiot into paying for a shiny pebble. Oh, stop. I mean, like, it's so funny to me because it's one of those like human psychological things where like if you've ever played any of the Dark Souls games, like there's like a phrase or a term, like, or just a colloquial saying in the Dark Souls community where it's like, ooh, shiny. There's a shiny. I want to get the shiny because like all the items in the game show up just as like glistening shiny orbs, until you pick them up, and then you're like, then it shows you what you picked up. I like that, There's an element of surprise to all the iteme. But like just stuff like that, like, oh, look at the shiny, like, and then you have like magpies, like allegedly like collect shiny shit and all. But humans have that too. I've always like thought that was hilarious. How like the way like certain cultures have like your animal spirit is a bear or a wolf. Imagine getting an animal spirit and it was the octopus. What does that say about a person? You can like multitask like a fucking god, or you're just like really good at massages. I don't fucking know. But we all have traits. Even the different breeds of human, like, you got like your blacks, your Asians, your like Northern Europeans, your Middle European, Lower Europeans, you got your fucking like different, like there's so many different kinds of black, and then there's so many different kinds of Asian, and then there's so many different kinds of European, and then we all just come up with these like terms for like, quick and comprehensive identification of certain things, like, which is of course like logical and useful. But when you have all these people arguing over what words mean, that's a sign that society is starting to fall by the wayside. When people are like, "What is a woman?" It's like, why are you asking me that? Do you know what I mean? For someone to even come to that question, to come to the point where they feel like they need to ask that question, something's amiss. Like, do you know what I mean? You have some fool walking around going like, well, I'm just being fucking blatantly autistic about it. Like, what is a woman? Expliquez-moi what a woman is. It's like the stuff that, like, what's that from the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? What was it? Kindergarten Cop. Boys have penises and girls have vagina, like, do you know what I mean? And it's like a young girl saying it, like, in the fucking scene and all, like, and it's like that became a meme that's been like thrown around the last couple of years, where it's like, if this fictional child, knows better than most real life people these days. Like, well, I say most, but like, an ever growing amount. Um, Ascension can ascend the fuck away from my stream, is what it can do. Goddamn ads, they vex me so. Um, there's so many like the term. It's a sign of the times. There's so many signs right now that you should be doing like something else with your life, other than what everyone else is doing right now. Like what everyone else is doing right now is like they're getting caught up in the trauma of all the shit that like these psychopaths want you to get caught up in, like, all the stuff on the news, all the propaganda in the movies, all the fucking like it's even in video games the last few years. Like I couldn't believe it when they started to have the fucking neck to try and get gamers to fucking adhere to woke ideologies. Like, oh, I think most of us reached our point when they started just blatantly, fucking with the kids in the public. That's when like a whole section of the realm was like, okay, that's it. Like, enough's enough. Like he eventually went to prison for 5 years for Grand Theft Auto and other shit, and a few years later. Why am I not surprised? I mean, like, who the fuck steals a flamingo from a zoo? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what if you were gonna steal it, take photos, have a laugh, and then put it back? Fine, that's hilarious. That's like ballsy, impulsive, and hilarious. But they fucking ate the poor thing. Like, come on, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just fucking barbaric. Like, to kidnap a fucking creep, because like it's not just out in the wild. That would have been all right if he made the effort to go just like snatch a flamingo from its like own habitat, like, do you know what I mean, as if he was at least hunting the thing, and then brought it home and they ate it. I'd be like, do you know what, fair game. But he stole the thing from a zoo. Do you know what I mean? And you well know cunts like that would be like, well, like, what kind of life did it have in the zoo? I mean, it's already imprisoned. Like, why not give it a good death? Why not give the flamingo a warrior's death? Like, do you know what I mean? I mean, some fools that would, like, argue that it's like, well, it's a better way to, like, that flamingo had a better end than all the other flamingos that he left in the zoo. Like, fucking bollocks. Like, all the other flamingos are sitting there in the zoo just going, like, whatever happened to Bob? You know what I mean? That guy just snatched him up one day and we never saw him again. Like, you essentially gave a lot of flamingos PTSD and an abduction story. Like, you know what I mean? They're going to develop a whole theory about UFOs and shit. Like, fucked it all up. Like, Koamaru, welcome to PEINTEINGU. A caiman. I thought it was like a typo or something. I didn't know that's how caiman was spelt. I didn't think it was spelt like that. Am I wrong? Because that's like Chamion. Chameon. Like Chamion. Chamion. That doesn't look like caiman. I could be wrong. But yeah, I know what caimans are. There's crocs, alligators, caimans, and then I think there's like one or two more, and then there's like variations of all of them. Do you ever see the one that's like, it just eats fish? And they have like a real thin lot, like they're fucking hilarious looking. Like the rest of their body is just like a normal alligator or croc, but their snout is like a pencil with like knives on it. It's fucking ridiculous. Him and a few other guys unfortunately got into meth for a few years. They all survived and actually are married with kids now. That's like, what a fucking story, like. They got into meth, but they came out of it and they got a wife and kids now. Like, do you imagine fucking, like, being one of them grandkids, like, and it's like, you're like, granddad's he's like sitting you on his knee telling his stories about his early life. When I was a boy, I kidnapped a flamingo and ate it. Like, oh my god, could you imagine finding that scene where you have a load of fucking just like empty cups and the smell of drink and vomit and all after after an absolute rager of a party. Like, there's people just falling about the place. It's like people are just like curled up in the fetal position asleep in the middle of the fucking kitchen, and then all of a sudden you come across just scattered bloodstains and pink feathers. Like, what happened here? Like, was the meth a factor in the exotic animal theft? I wonder if the meth had anything to do with the sudden urge to kidnap a flamingo. That's why I never got into hard drugs. Like I dabbled. Everybody. Well, not everybody, but like many of us dabble. Try things. I've always been a trier. Even with like, I think I told this story before actually, where like I had a neighbor for a while who was like this really weird, cool, interesting dude, and back in the day, he would ask me if I could like hook him up with weed or something, like, and like I didn't deal or anything, like, but a few of my friends did, and there was always stuff around, so I had contacts. So I was like, yeah, I can hook you up, yeah, sure. He was in the Foreign Legion. And like that said a lot. You could see it in his eyes. Fucking like, and an amazing painter, and like just a really interesting dude with amazing stories. Well traveled, obviously, because of the military history and stuff like that. Like, but dear God, was he a bit tapped in the head? But not that I can judge. He invited me in one night because he had another friend over. He's like, come in, have a few drinks, smoke a bit, like, fucking just hang out and all, like. And I went in, and the first thing he hands me is like a plate of like, just snacks, like hors d'oeuvres or whatever you want to fucking call it, like, I was like a cracker with some like sliced peppers or some shit, or like, some like greens, and then some kind of pate or meat, like pate on the top. And like, immediately I was like, oh, this looks like, well, fucking like some kind of fish pate or liver pate or chicken pate or something. Like, my mind was just like, I'm sure this is quite edible. I've probably had something like this before. God, I was wrong. I eat the thing, right? And like the fucker intentionally waited, till they didn't say anything. Like, it was just like, try this, you'll love it. And it was delicious. But I remember, like, I was eating it. I was like, yeah, that's not bad. But I was like, it's a bit gritty. Like, what could I don't know that kind of meat, and like what does that taste like? This is odd, like, and and I was like, what is it? And he was like, lamb's brain, and I was just like, no way. They're like, has that ever happened to you where like, because you're the type of person to just like go with the flow in the moment and shit, like, you find some of the situations you find yourself in around like people, you just stand there being like, well, that happened. Iron Man Murrow, welcome to PEINTEINGU. Is it pronounced Camoyan? No, as far as I know, like, I thought it was spelled Caimon, like Cayman, but they pronounce it Cayman. Could be wrong. I don't know. Google that shit. He brought it to a big party, yeah, and eventually. Oh, yeah. Oh, I need a sip. He brought it to a big party, yeah, and eventually another good friend of mine told him to take it back. And thought he did. Instead, he came up from the basement with 2 flamingo breasts. Oh my God. Put that back where you found it. All right, yeah. 5 minutes later, it comes back with bits of it. Like, oh, fuck. Right. Let's get these bitches wet. Okay. I think we go with this one. I'm going to finish the car in the sky. The DeLorean-esque thingamajig. And then I think I'll get on to... I think I'll paint a few of them, maybe. Do some laser blasts. assaulting the flamingos on the beach. The flamingos who have gathered into a gang and armed themselves. Quite literally. Hey, see everybody watching on YouTube. It's got like 53 million views or some shit. It seems to be the thing that a lot of people are talking about the last few days. Is Pat Williams was on this guy's show called Shannon Briggs. I've never heard of the guy, obviously, because I don't watch American football. Because apparently that's what he's famous for, or some shit like. Um, but I have always liked Cat, and I love the Friday movies. So I watched the interview, and it's real interesting. It's like I didn't know there was like all that shit, like fucking all that beef in the black comedy space. Um, but I mean, like we all know how fucking devious, underhanded, manipulating, and just in general full of shit that people can be. So I wasn't surprised to hear any of the things that Kat. But the fact that it's had such a kind of cultural zeitgeist effect on. Get this football shit off my stream, you dog. Paint. The fact that it's had such an impact, I found quite interesting, But like I said, it's like, I'm not in the fucking black community, am I? Like, so it's not like I probably would have heard about this shit. And I haven't kept up with Cat Williams. The last stand-up special that I went back to watch was Eddie Griffin's Voodoo Child, and one of the other ones, like, brilliant stand-up. Eddie Griffin's a funny motherfucker. But I think it's quite ironic and a bit, like, hilariously ignorant and stupid in a lot of ways that, like, people like Kat, or someone like Kat, is talking about, like, being a truth teller and, like, and all this shit, and then in the same breath says, he's got a Netflix deal. And I'm just like, don't get me wrong, I've seen some things on Netflix. I only watched a movie there the other week, like last week, a couple of days ago even. I don't know, fucking time is not linear to me. That Love and Monsters thing, thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, there's stuff on Netflix that's totally watchable. It's just rife with fucking absolute degeneracy. So it's not like, just because Cat has stuff on Netflix means he's immoral or some shit. Like, but I find it funny that, like, so many of these people find themselves in these positions where they're just like, well, I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to say how it is, and God has blessed me with all this stuff, and it's like, you were a pimp. You openly admit that, like, you stole radios out of cars to, like, make money before you got into comedy and all. It's like, these people was like, well, I was just grinding, I was just getting my money, boo-boo, I was just doing my hustle. It's like, you people assume that you have to commit crime to, like, make a living? I find this inherently retarded. So, like, don't get me wrong, like, it's not like you have to be black to think like that. I mean, it's like fucking... It just seems exceedingly prevalent in the black community, where they just, like, justify their criminal behavior through some sort of, like, sense of wrongdoing or some shit, like, It's odd to me. Like, whatever about leaving his home at, like, a young age with his puppy and his suitcase or whatever, and, like, having an entrepreneurial mind or whatever, like, a lot of this stuff sounds good, like, but then I hear some, like, maybe I am just autistically honest, but, like, I'll hear some shit and I'll be like, that's such a blatant contradiction. How can you have that mindset of, like, believing in God and, like, all these good moral things and saying the truth and stuff, and then in the same breath be like, I've been a criminal, like, and, like, sure, repenting and all this shit and all, like, but like, isn't that kind of like being a hypocrite? Like, am I wrong? I don't think I am. Like, I mean, that's like everyone talking about being humble and shit. Well, like, if you've come from stealing and pimping, can you really call people out for lying? Or like, do you know what I mean? That just seems a bit like retarded and a bit victimy, you know? Saying that you're like, I'm just coming on this show to set the record straight about what this other fucking black guy that was in that film 20 years ago. It's like, I find it fascinating that like one of the most watched, like they're saying it's like, oh, it's the most watched podcast, like, it's like 50 million views in like a few days and all this shit. And then it's like, it's what people want to watch. That's what like millions of people are interested in, is the beef between a load of black comedians that's been going on for 20 odd years over one movie. And like I said, don't get me wrong, Friday's hilarious, but as far as I can tell, Terry Crews is a sellout. And from what I could tell, did some weird shit to get some roles or whatever. Like Kevin Hart put a fucking dress on. I thought Kevin Hart was hilarious when he first came out, like, or when I first started seeing him on the screen. Anyway, like, I was fucking hilarious. But they all do the same fucking thing. They all sell out. They all have a thing. Now, granted, Kat has said that his standards and his, like, moral choices were such that, like, he got essentially blackballed, or like, they didn't pick him because he wouldn't, shall we say, allow certain things to happen to his rear end, and he wouldn't indulge in the oral satisfaction of other males. I'm trying to be a tiny bit careful with my wording, considering there's a 12-year-old in the same house as me right now, so I'm not just going to be blatantly vulgar as I usually am. but that's because I'm trying to be a good boy, like. And I see these like famous people like who have all these stories and, well, I did this and blah 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 did this and all. It's like, why even bother? I mean, like, if you've made all this money and you've beaten the system, like, and you've like carved away, then why come back in to just like, I'm just here to set the record straight? It's like, why are you setting the record straight with hypocrites and liars and like homosexuals and like all these like degenerate psychopath fucks who fuck each other over? Why do you deem it necessary to set the record straight with them? I don't get that. Like, I just find it really interesting that, see, like, all these millions of people being like, God bless Kat and all, and like yeah, I get it. I mean, it's nice to see. It's nice to see the other side, like, Kat's sitting there being like, it's 2024, it's the year of truth, it's all coming out now. It's like, I don't know. I mean, like, if you're gonna sit there and say all that shit, and then in the same breath say that you're on Netflix and like, fucking, like, you've got all these adopted kids, but you're not gonna marry a woman and all, and you like the company and women and like whatever about this cultural thing of like, fucking, I'm a lion, I need my bitches, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I just find a lot of it extremely contradictory and hypocritical, like. And kind of disappointing. I suppose there's a sense of disappointment as well. It's like, every time one of these fools comes out and is like, I'm gonna set the record straight. I'm gonna tell the truth. And it's like, but you're no better than them. In lots of ways. Like, in lots of ways, you are better than them, sure. But in lots of ways, you're not. So why don't you all just keep your mouth shut and just do something? You know? I remember seeing a clip of it's like Denzel Washington like shouting out Sam L. And he was like, let me tell you something about Samuel L. Jackson. And he starts rhyming off all the charities. And there was just a voice in my head, like this gut feeling. And like he's being praised for doing all this charity work. And I've never seen a charity or someone or a fucking celebrity do charity work that seemed to have any real world effect at all. You know? To me, it's just a lot of people making like I've seen no difference between that and the military industrial complex. It's just a lot of people making profit off of something bad. Oh well, like the orphanages and the autism charities and this, that, and the rest. It's like you guys aren't fixing any problems. You're just like getting a lot of fucking money together to like build another hospital or build another orphanage. Or it's like instead of housing all the orphans in one big house, why didn't you find them all homes? Or like do like genuinely like I'm sure there's like a shit ton of people out there that would like adopt a kid. I mean, fucking Cat has fucking 9 of them or some shit. Like these organizations, like they all just seem like tax breaks to me. Like, do you know what I mean? Isn't that how that shit works? Like they'll pay less taxes. That's the feeling I get. It's not that these people are actually like insanely moral and just and all this fucking shit. Like to me, it's just like they're they're securing their ability to keep as much as their income as possible because they're in a system that they believe is like fucking them over. Well, it's like, well, if you're in a system that you believe is fucking you over, why are you still in that system? Well, you can't get out of the system. Like it's like, well, fucking if you're so rich and famous, why don't you just make your own movie production studio? And then like I just like these days you don't know who's fucking telling the truth, even when they claim to be telling the truth. I mean, there's a lot of people that would probably accuse me of being a fucking idiot, but like, not that I give a fuck. Sorry, Delta Barrel. Welcome to PEINTEINGU. Double standards for sure. I know, it's crazy, like. They reveal their own degenerate behavior while exposing that of the beast. Yeah, it's like yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like, that's how it felt to me. It was like, well, they did this and they said that, and I'm going to set the record straight, and this is how it was, and blah, blah. It's like, okay, but what you're talking about is a film that was shot 20 years ago. So, like, are you not essentially revealing the fact that you're a bunch of, like, infantilized hypocrites? And the only real truth is that like it's all fucked. It's all fucked. It's all inverted. It's like even the ones who are like, I've been to some of them parties and like I walked upstairs and I seen some shit and I just left. And it's like, well, like you were there though. And like, don't get me wrong, like you could totally like just be in those circles, do a good movie or whatever, or like fucking you're good at football or some shit, and you go to an after party, you see some shit, and you're like, I'm out, and you're gone, right? But it seems to me that all of these like truthers that you see promoted on like YouTube or something, right? It's like the term like controlled opposition, where they're starting to bring out all these talking heads who still have a bit of like public clout, like Cat Williams. They still have enough public clout, and they're like in the eyes of a load of people, they're like, yeah, but Cat, a real one. It's like, but he's what? A real what? A real former criminal and pimp. And like I said, don't get me wrong, just because you did something bad in the past doesn't mean you can't be a good person now. But like it's kind of like the whole don't throw stones in glass houses kind of thing. Like, and like I can say all this because like I've never been famous. I haven't like I'm ignorant. I'm completely ignorant of how all this fucking shit actually works. I'm just basing my opinions and speculating based on what they're showing me and what I've experienced in my own life to be true. You know, in my own little microcosm of reality. And like I prefer simple, fundamental truths. You know, just like I suppose what idioms or some shit like these like sayings or like phrases like the Bible. Like I haven't even read the whole fucking Bible. Like I've read a bit of it, like and the rest of it is just stuff I've heard. I will totally and utterly admit that there's not a lot of things that I actually like delve deep into. I keep in my lane, you know. This is what I do, and everything else is just an opinion or speculation. I mean, there's stuff I know, then there's stuff I believe. And I believe that most of the stuff out there in the mainstream, even when it appears to have this like veneer of like, oh no, now shit's gonna change because like all the truth's coming out. It's like, and I'm not being pessimistic. It just doesn't seem wholly genuine. And like maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. You'll have all these people that would like, immediately turn around and judge me and be like, well, you didn't grow up in the ghetto. It's like, you want to bet? I basically grew up in the fucking form of an Irish ghetto for like 9 years. Getting the shit kicked out of me on the daily, like right outside my own house for no other reason than I'm a ginger kid and my dad's the only one on the fucking road with a decent enough job to have a company car. You know? That's why I got bet. Like, you think I don't know, like, struggle? You think I don't know hardship? You think I don't know trauma? Just because I haven't been famous or just because I haven't been in some of those rooms, some of those dark hallways or some shit? I genuinely get the feeling that a lot of these people are just giant, like, not giant, they're just like old children. And like coming from me, that's hilarious. I mean, look at me. I do not take life seriously at all. I'm constantly taking the piss. And a lot of people would deem that to be childish, but I don't think so. I think there's a lot of wisdom in the fool, archetypically. You know? I mean, essentially how I walk through life since deciding not to hang myself is what is what is, and what will be, will be. The only thing you really have to worry about is your own choices and how, like, they reflect in your own soul. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I die, I want to die with a sense of like, well, I couldn't have done it any better than that, you know? And if I could have, I didn't know it. That's the kind of thing that I want to just leave with, is like, I fucking tried. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that don't try. I'm fucking trying. What are you doing? Bitching and moaning because somebody fucking said some shit about you and like, you know it not to be true? Who cares? Just keep crushing. Just keep doing your thing. And I know, like, there's times where it's like, okay, people have been saying this shit and I just need to like clear the air or whatever. But then you hear them clear the air and you're kind of like, what difference does it make? You're just gonna still have a load of people arguing and like, fucking. I mean, this is one of the things I took from the basics summary of the Jesus story is like you can be the best person imaginable and you will be crucified for it. You can heal people, help people, teach people, guide people, you know, and behave in a manner that is like uplifting and restorative to the people in your vicinity. And depending on the circumstance and where you do it and when, you will be openly murdered for it. Like, so what lesson do you take from that? You know? I think that, like, that's why I like what Owen says. It's like, you want to change the world, do it in here and do it like in your home. You try and change the way the world works out there. A lot of the times what you end up doing is making shit worse. You make people more divided. You make people more argumentative. You make people more like, you know, yeah, he's right, so we should do this now. And it's kind of like, I see a lot of this fucking bullshit as just tic-tac, like, you know, fucking tennis. Just back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. And then you have all the fucking demonic entities and psychopaths and degenerates that know that and feed off of it. They feed off of the energy transfer. They hate him, they love him, they hate him, they love him, they hate him, they love him. Like, you have a lot of, like you know, people like Kat who are like, you know, fucking, I'm not in politics anymore. Like, you know, when both sides are fucked up, I mean, what do you do about it? It's like, so their culture seemingly has the ability to recognize some things about our reality, but then not others, you know? Like, there was a few things he said where I was kind of like he said the term special needs and was like, you know, there's some words we don't use anymore and all this shit. And I was like, what are you, a faggot? Like, what the, like the fuck? Like, there's some new words we don't use anymore. Why? Because you're told not to use them? Well, they upset people. They upset broken, manipulating psychopaths is who they upset. They upset people who are brainwashed, traumatized, and, you know, under the influence of spells. That's who they upset. They don't upset anyone of note. They don't upset anyone of importance, like import or importance, you know? That's one of my favorite fucking, like, it's just a stand-up bit. It's not even like one of his whole fucking thing. There's actually not enough of the comedian I'm about to reference. I think his name is Steve Hughes, Australian fella. And like his bit about being offended, it's like nothing happens when you get offended. Paint. What happened? It was like, do you know what? I went to see a comedy. I went to see a comedian last night, and I was offended. And when I woke up the following morning, I had cancer. It's like that's not what happens. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, nobody's ever said that. Like, that doesn't happen. Nothing happens when you get offended. If I don't like something, I don't consume it. If I don't like someone or something, I take I take action to get them out of my life. Like your everyday life, your whole life is like a garden, you know. Every day when you wake up, you gotta fucking like check on various things and like, you know, remind yourself of certain, like you need to like. There's a lot of repetition, but then also a lot of change, and some change only comes with a lot of repetition. These fractal truths are fascinating, like, I think a lot of people, just like with COVID in the last few years, and how many people got swindled, and now how many people are like really damaged and fucked up as a result. Um, I think something almost worse might be coming, and I think it could be connected to something as simple as that, where like you've all these people who care so much about a bunch of niggas arguing over some bullshit when they did a movie 20 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Because like the way they're framing it is like, oh, the truth's out now. You people have only been able to get away with this shit, and like, not put these niggas in your movies and only put these niggas in your movies. And like Kevin Hart is like fucking saying that Cat was on drugs and didn't show up for studio stuff, and he's like, that's not true. The only drug I smoke is weed and all that. It's like, you basically have a bunch of criminals and bitches basically like trying to fucking justify their behavior and like one up each other. And like one of them is like, well, I'm on God's side. Yeah, well, what? Which God? You know? Which God? I'm not so sure anymore. You know? That's why I do not subscribe to any known religion. I do not consider myself a Christian. I do not consider myself a Muslim or a Buddhist or a heathen or any of these fucking things. I consider myself an honest man. That is the end of it. Anything more than that is a luxury. Oh, well, I'm a this, this, and this, and we believe this, this, and that. Okay, so that's what you believe. What do you know? What do you know to be true? Don't tell me what you fucking believe. Especially when everybody fucking argues over what they believe. What an incredibly, utterly retarded thing to do. Well, we believe this to be true. Well, we believe this to be true. Well, our books say this is true. Well, we dug something up and we think this means that this is true. Okay, so all I heard was think, belief, speculation, and false claims of knowing based on belief. I know there's paint on this brush. You know why? Because I put the paint on the brush myself. Like, there's certain things you know, and then there's certain things that we all believe. And to confuse the two is going to murder half of us. I mean, if you really want to get fucking freaky about it, like, you don't know that the sun's going to show up tomorrow. You just trust that it will. You just believe that it will, because it's happened again and again and again and again and again. But you don't fucking know. I mean, like, you could have a daily routine where you do the same shit every fucking day and you see the same people walking up and down the street every fucking day. And then one of the people that you see one day gets hit by a bus and you never see him again. How did that come about? Is it just circumstance? Is it God's plan? Is it just coincidences? Is it just chaos? It's like, that's why one of my favorite fucking lines out of any movie is that fucking Rastafarian gangster in Predator 2. He's like, I'll tell you what I believe. Shit happens. It's like, yeah, that's what I believe. I believe shit. Like, I almost know that. Shit happens. Deal with it. So much fucking speculation and so much argumentation over, like, what people believe to be true. Instead of us all just agreeing and having the fucking balls to admit what we know to be true. Maybe we could all get along a bit better if we just had the fucking balls to admit to each other what we know to be true. Like, that's why so many people watch Owen. That's why I watch Owen. The comedy and the genuine nature of it. And yeah, we all know that, like, you can only be as real as you can like morally afford to be, because like there's certain circumstances where if you wanted to be really real to like make a point or some shit, but it would, like, if you're a married man with a family, it's obviously immoral to jeopardize their safety just to say something true, you know. I mean, that kind of makes sense when it comes to the whole Jesus thing, you know? I mean, from what I've heard, he didn't have a wife and kids. But then you hear he does actually have a fucking genetic lineage. And it wasn't just him, it was like, some family. Can't even remember the family name. But like I've heard people talk about that like Jesus actually has like a bloodline and some of them are alive today. And like they're like where some people think the Illuminati are a real thing and whatever, like what they do. These guys are the real Illuminati and they're like, in the background behind fucking everything and all this shit. Like a lot of this stuff I just see it as Russian dolls or like, fucking what do they call it? Turtles all the way down, you know? Instead of a fractal truth, it's just a fractal load of bullshit. Paint, paint. Paint, paint. Paint car. Frying car. Imagine trying to fry a car. Paint, paint. Who didn't fucking, like, love the DeLorean the first time you saw it? With the gull wing doors and all. First time you see the fucking DeLorean flying around, it's just like, that's fucking awesome. Didn't they make, yeah, they did. They made the whole fucking train like a time machine that flew at like the end of the third one or some shit. I enjoyed all three of them. I remember enjoying all three of them. The Back to the Futures. Did they make a fourth one? Did they do that? Yeah, I remember seeing a fucking trailer or some shit about a fucking about a fourth Back to the Future, and I was like, oh, here we fucking go. Yeah. Oh, the elf was here. He was here like at the beginning. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I've shamed him into just not being here anymore. I didn't even need to ban fan him. I just gave him a load. I just gave him a load of shit, and he fucked off. Oh. Did the elf get the ban fan chat as legible today? Hilarious. Uh, I've been dealing with pretty harsh pain lately, so I'm a bit dark. I can relate. I can fucking relate. I've been in a lot of back pain and shoulder and neck pain the last few days and stuff. I've been waiting for. I've been trying to take it easy and rest because I think I pulled a muscle in my rib cage or some shit, like under my left pec. Been very painful for like over a week now, and because I had that cough while I was like, a bit fluey. Every time I coughed, I was like in quite quite a significant amount of pain. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when you have a pain, you're like, oh, you just sound like the guy out of Minecraft. You're just kind of like, oh, like it's just a bit of pain. Like, but when you have pain, you're like, oh. You just like it makes you wince. That involuntarily that it you involuntarily like seize up and like your muscles contract. You just like it's horrible. Like every time I coughed and sneezed, like it like there was a few days there where I was like, "Fuck, did I really fuck myself up?" Because I don't feel any better. But the last 2 days I've woken up. It's starting to feel a bit better. But that's one of the reasons why I haven't done any exercise in the past few weeks because it's like I was already not exercising because I could feel myself getting sick, and then I fucking like injured myself, and then I'm like, all right, I probably shouldn't do like dips and pull-ups and lift heavy weight and do all this shit if I have like a muscle group here that's like off. And then I was watching this video where it's like this guy had like intense bruising on his leg, and he was like, they tell you they like, ice stuff and all, like, well, they were saying that for years, but now they say that like it's actually better to like move. Movement is medicine and all this stuff. And like I walk nearly 4 kilometers a day. I just walk around the town and up the hills, and then I stretch my eyes on the horizon pretty much every day. Um, to be honest, I think it's one of the reasons why I can't fucking put any weight on. Like, I need to start eating just like way more food. Like, I think my brain burns an insane amount of fucking calories, and I don't replace enough. Like, genuinely feel like I'm running on like 50% of a tank, like all the time for the past few years. Paint. But yeah, I can totally fucking relate, Corber. It affects one's mood when pain is chronically present. It's like what I was saying on the stream. Was it yesterday? I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. Or like, um, most of what we see in today's society, like what's going on in the realm right now, like whatever about spiritually or like biblically or fucking big picture or whatever. Like, if you just boil it down to like real world everyday, what's going on? Most people are just damaged. Um, most people are just fucking damaged, traumatized, in a constant state of attempting to heal from something that happened a while ago. And that's actually a funny synchronization, actually, because that's essentially what I see in the whole Cat Williams interview. Is you see this whole community, this whole like millions of people, allegedly, if the numbers are to be believed, um, desperate for some kind of like emotional uh, validation of like, oh, Cat's the real one and all these other ones are fakes, but it's like you're still all engaging in an industry that is like degenerate to fuck. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, don't get me wrong, I don't like I don't think, from what I've seen, I don't think Cat Williams in particular is like currently doing uh media that's like degenerate. From what I've seen, he's like telling people true shit and he's being funny about it. Like, his stuff about the McDonald's fries is hilarious, and it's because it's true. There's been so many times where I've like eaten literally every single fucking particle of a thing of McDonald's chips because they're salty and they're delicious. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's not even fucking real potato. Like, do you know? Like, I've heard over, I don't know, like, because there's like food differences between Europe and America. But like the Americans, have to off gas their fucking potatoes because they're so fucking toxic and shit before they can even use them to be cooked. They need to off gas them for like 3 weeks. Like, and I've heard here that we don't even use potatoes here to make the fucking fries. It's like some kind of starch powder or some shit. So I don't fucking know, you know. A lot of a lot of uh, what I say is speculation or stuff I've heard or fucking stuff I've thought about or whatever. And I'm not going to put a fucking disclaimer on the fucking stream of like, welcome to PEINTEINGU. It's your fault if you take anything I say seriously. I mean, like, look at me. I'm wearing a kimono and have my hair in a top knot thing, and there's a fucking bear in the background with a kamikaze bandana. Like, it's like, if anyone came here and like the elf, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're wrong, you're a simp, you're brainwashed and all this fucking shit. It's like, bro, you clearly have issues that like fucking far exceed me talking some shit on the internet. Like, do you know what I mean? Sort yourself out, fool. Like, like, in honesty, I've always been like that. I stopped being like that. When I look back at my early teenage years before I um started hanging around with a different crowd and fucking smoking and drinking and all this fucking shit. I used to be, respected and trusted, and people used to like uh what's the term? Appreciate my opinion on things and such. And then for years I just sat around like bitching about life, listening to other people bitch about life, and then engage in like frivolous activities that didn't benefit us at all, and if anything, just like spent money we didn't have. And like ultimately, all of that is just from bad choices, and you make bad choices when you're in a bad frame of mind, and like you end up in a bad frame of mind when you get fucked with. And trust me, I was fucked with. Like, whatever about your father leaving at 14. I mean, that's traumatizing enough for most people. Coming from a divorced home or whatever. But then my mother betrays me in like pretty much one of the worst ways you could betray your son. And like that stuff wasn't even the stuff that like really drove me to suicide. The stuff that drove me to suicide was the choices I made as a result of the stuff that happened to me. And I see the same thing on a fucking mass scale in society. Like, like the blacks have it, like, fucking, oh, they did this for 400 years. Like, and then you have the Jews. It's like, oh, the Holocaust. Like, and then I don't know what the fucking the Chinese never complain. The Chinese just build shit. Like, like God bless the Chinese. Like, I was looking at the map earlier on actually, and I always thought, in my mind, I thought for some reason Japan was south of China, but it's actually east of China. I thought that was fascinating. It's been so long. Like, I'm so far removed from my like formal education in school. Like, I just like eliminated everything from my mind around like fourth year. I was just like, okay, don't trust my parents as far as I control them. Don't trust the government as far as I control it. Everything I'm learning in school is fucked. You know, it's like, so like you just get years of just kind of like meandering around, being like, all right, where the fuck do I go and who the fuck do I talk to? like, like if I can't trust anyone, then I'm alone. But I'm not alone. I'm surrounded by liars. like, it's, well, at least you're not alone. It's like, yeah, sure. I mean, in that, like, in those scenarios, under those circumstances, like that's why I've become well accustomed to being on my own for long periods of time. And trust me, I enjoy my own company. There's times where I'm making a coffee and I just think about something and I laugh. I'm quite entertaining. Like, and I have a good sense of humor about things. And I'm only an asshole when I think I need to be. It seems like most people these days are just big fucking children, moaning and bitching about how they've been hard done by and all this fucking shit. And don't get me wrong, I did that for a while in my early 20s. Like, like see all these like grown ass men. It's like you see all these grown ass niggas like fucking Yay and all. Like, do you know what I mean? Like for a while there, we were like, oh no way, like Yay might be a real one. Like he's a bit mad, like yeah, but like aren't all the real ones like a bit mad? Like people have like gotten close to me through the bear community over the last couple of years, And like, there's people that have come back into my life after not seeing them for years because they could just get that sense of it. It's like, look, I'm just real. I'm real with you. Do you know what I mean? I'll never forget that. Like, there was a time where I didn't see a friend of mine for a while, and then we met back up, just like randomly in a shop. And I can't remember how the conversation got around to it, but I was like, man, being real is like literally like playing life on hard mode because like nobody wants to fucking do it anymore. Nobody wants to just be real with each other. Nobody wants to just fucking speak the fucking truth because it's the fucking truth. Like, you know, it's all these emotions around it. Like, and I'm like, and again, coming from me, that's hilarious because I'm an insanely emotional guy. Like, so if I'm sitting here being like, y'all a bunch of bitches, like, you know, it's like, that's how bad things have gotten. Like, but I turned around and I was like, being real, it's like, you know, it's like playing life on hard mode. It's fucking difficult. Like, and he was like, it's like, yeah, being real is pretty hard. And I was like, but it's staying real. You can be real in a moment, and like, you know, it can take bravery to be real in a moment. But being real with everyone in your vicinity and everyone in your life all the time, every day, in this timeline is exhausting. Like, it's fucking exhausting. But it must be done. We're surrounded by such fucking utter contemptuous LARPing retards who like financially and materialistically benefit to a wondrous degree from all of their retardary lies that it requires a minute amount of us to turn around and go, no, yeah, that's all bullshit. And this is what I think. And I don't give a fuck about what you think about what I think, because most of you have clearly shown yourselves to be a bunch of fucking bellends. So why would I care about your opinion on fucking anything? It's essentially the same feeling you get when your parents turn out to be a bunch of fucking idiots and all that shit. Like, you get that like childhood trauma of like betrayal and loss of trust and all. And then it's like the whole fucking society does it. And you're like, okay. Because that's what COVID was for me. It's like, oh, so like most people are fucking cowards and like wasters and liars and clout chasers and money grubbing little fuckers and like most people, you know? Like if you put a mask on or if you took the jab, you did that because you were weak or because you didn't have any faith or because you're so fucking stupid that you just do what you're told, or like, you know, like it was such a, it was such a. This is how the world is right now in this moment. This is where everyone is. You know, that's why I saw it as a blessing. I was just like, okay, if everyone else is gonna just cook to the devil, then like, I'm just gonna paint. I'm just gonna sit here and paint. I'm going to paint funny things and cute things and really cool looking things, and people will pay me for them. And they did, and they do. And there's something telling me that I made the right choice. I still get days where I'm like Corber, and I'm, you know, moody, aggressive, in a state of aggravation. One could call it being vexed. But I still just do my shit. And I'm honest with people about it. I'm not going to hide myself away for fear of being judged or whatever, because it's like, you people can't fucking judge me. Judged by what? Like my fellow man? When that's what my fellow man is? Having a laugh. I really do have a feeling that the only thing that can fucking judge me now is some supernatural fucking thing, and if that makes people think that I'm like above them or crazy or whatever, it's because they're fucking stupid. In my humble opinion, you know what time it is? It's time for raving. Yeah, like if the elf show's back up, I'm just gonna keep giving him shit. I'm gonna keep showing him next time. And be like, so have you any have you developed a sense of honor? Movie was like you know I was thinking about stuff like that. It's like you know am I going to have to get a regular mod on the stream or something like if a lot of people? Am I going to have to spend a whole stream banning people one of the streams or some shit? Like I don't know how any of this shit's going to go. Like you know, it's my first time being a streamer. If you haven't noticed, fucking like I've literally the only experience I have in this field is doing it and seeing what happens. Which quite often is one of the best ways to just like fucking get on with something. Like it's just well, give it a shot, see what happens. Wing that shit. And there is like you know, I have a dark side to me. We all do. And I every so often I like to embrace it. What like one of my main images that I've created over the last few years is that little demon fucker like holding up a halo. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that sometimes. I feel like I was born like a little bit demonic, but I like want to be good. You know, I want to be a real boy. I do. I genuinely do. Like, I see the folly of evil. You know, I see the ignorance and the folly and the short-sightedness of evil. And my logic center that I was blessed with by whatever creator you choose to believe in or whatever, like, tells me that good is good because it is good and it is right. And that just makes sense, you know? And, like, school didn't do that. My parents didn't do that. My family didn't do that. Like, nobody fucking showed me that it was like, you just do shit because it's good because it's good. I did that. I came to that conclusion. Life showed me that. Because I paid attention, you know? All this bollocks of like, you gotta work hard, make that money so you can get a mortgage, you know? Like the rest of us. Okay. Like, you believe that, you know? Like, absolute fucking madness, like. His beak was looking a bit blunt. Right. We need some blue, cool, hovering light energy wave bullshit going on this car. And I need a sip. Oh, remember. Oh, now's your time, Carlos. Come, Tiger, remind the people. You should like and subscribe to PEINTEINGU. Because Carlos the Tiger will fucking eat you otherwise. I will unleash him upon you. I will remove the bucket and the sunglasses, and I will fling him at you. I will fling the giant, formerly cocaine-ridden feline upon you, and you shall regret it. So, if you have any honor and any sense about you, you will pay for PEINTEINGU. Link in description. Buy something. Buy some of my merch. Link also in description. Prove that you are real. Let's paint this bitch. Oh, every time you ruin the drop, and part of me kind of likes it because I can shit on you and then the drop happens anyway. Very partial to this Prussian brew. it to be vibrant. Vibrantly blue. Maybe even a smidge of green, perhaps. The levels of ASMR that are going to go down when I finally get my hands on a fucking decent mic. I've actually noticed the mic cuts out a lot when I burp, which is probably a good thing, but I don't know. I doubt anyone comes to PEINTEINGU just to hear me belch. And then sound like the Kool-Aid guy. Oh yeah! Like, I'm attempting to create something on the lines of Sion. And currently, I am failing. I'll go back into this one. This will do for the moment. I might actually just get my drawer of goodies and... Do you know what? I'll do it this way. Defender ass! Okay. Oh. What a pretty colors. They say you can mix pretty much any color with the 3 primary colors. That is a lie. It's fucking shit tons of colors that I absolutely love. Unless you're like really good at that shit and have loads of colors to mix anyway, you can't really get them. Welcome to 2024. Don't bereave the rise. How many people have changed their behavior though because of the positive example of one man? What, like Jesus? I know, like the whole sacrifice thing is good and shit, but like you can make the same argument, man. You could like look how far we've fallen, even though that happened. You know, like that's kind of my point. Is like, yes, there's an argument. It's like, oh, but look at all the people that do all such good things because of his example. It's like, yeah, but like, did it really matter though? I mean, apparently it's been 2,000 years, and are we not worse off in a lot of ways now than we were back then? You know. I mean, in a lot of ways, I think the Jesus story is just another one of those narratives that's just like psychologically constructed to be able to enable them to keep farming people for various reasons, like, you know. Like, good communities exist, good parts of the realm exist. I see most of the degeneracy, degradation, and, you know, Babylonian fucking behavior. It's like, it's the fucking cities, you know? And it's in the cities because, like, you can have loads of fundamental truths like that, like, you know, familiarity breeds contempt. So when you have all these people in the close proximity to each other, bad shit's bound to happen. And then you also have convenience is death, you know? We've collectively made choices and, you know, consumed things in a certain way, built things in a certain way that has essentially condemned us to a life of, like, detachment and debauchery. And, like, even though the example of someone like Jesus exists and pretty much everyone has heard about it, we're here, you know? That's why I like Owen. You know, he's like one of the few that genuinely tries to balls to the wall, you know, right, I'm gonna fucking get my own land and start like milking goats. Like, you know what I mean? Like to go from like being on stage to like doing that. and like getting like, you know, like getting kicked off of fucking like all sorts of platforms in the maddest ways. Like his wife gets kicked off something and all, like Airbnb or whatever the fuck. Like, to be blackballed to that degree shows me that they're terrified of people like him. And why are they terrified of people like him? He's not Jesus. He's not this biblical creature that fucking, or this entity or person supposedly that has these like healing abilities and can fucking perform miracles and all. He's just a dude telling the truth. He's just a dude being honest, you know? And like, it's not impossible, but most people think it is, and that's tragic. Like, I've proven in my own fucking little corner of the realm and the internet that, like, if I just get up every day and I'm just like real with myself and the people I interact with, and I just put the work in, shit happens. Shit happens, you know? And like, don't get me wrong, there's loads of fucking truth and all this fucking shit to be gleaned from the Bible, but like, in my humble opinion, I think it's just all allegory and metaphor for the realm we live in and the consequences to your actions. You know? Beliefs are kind of narcissistic because they replace what is known to fit their morality and reality. You know, it'd be really cool if you got your gay face off my stream. Beliefs are kind of narcissistic when you think about it, because they replace what is known to fit their morality and reality. Yeah, like, you know, that's what, like, I like that Crow 777 saying, even though, like, I don't listen to Crow or whatever, like, on the daily, like, almost ever. I only have so many funds available to me, and like, I only have so many fucking subscriptions that I'm actually willing to pay for on the regular. And like, maybe one of them should be Crow, because there's a lot of gravy there. But that belief is the enemy of knowing, and I'm like, that's kind of where I can come across a bit autistic sometimes, because people will be like, oh, you are damaged, bro. Like, that's straight up true. Like, you've, like, dude, like, you're physically damaged, you're mentally damaged, and you're spiritually damaged, and it's written all over your face. The fact that your fucking profile pic is such a drastic juxtaposition to what you actually look and behave like, says a lot about you. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all know the weirdos on the internet who have, like, little anime girls as their profile pics and shit, and you chose a purple-headed fucking blue, elf bitch, you know? Like, just be honest. They're like, all the shit that's wrong with you is, like, at least 50% of it is because of the choices that you fucking made, like. Just fucking admit it, like. Stop being such a little bitch about it, like, I'm not damaged, I'm pissed off and I'm allowed to be. Yeah, you're allowed to be a loser, and that's how you're behaving. And I'll just wipe you from here if you just keep being such a fucking little bitch. Pay for painting, like, fucking. I took time out of my day to do this for you and didn't expect much from it, but I've received nothing, and you've been a cunt in my chat, and you've insulted me, you know, and you're still here. Bow before my mercifulness, or I'll fucking bleach you from this stream. People like you are blessed. People like me exist because I give fucking assholes like you a fucking chance to swing. And you're missing, man. You're missing the point so fucking much, like. Just be better. And eat a fucking sandwich. I missed the first few minutes. Yeah, like, skip a few of the scratchers and eat something. Spend your money on food and not, like... You literally had a thing where it was like, let's waste some money. like a person of sound mind and body doesn't say that. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's go waste some money. I just act black and get free shit. Like, openly admitting that you're just a fucking waster. Ik Fordu, welcome to PEINTEINGU. Ding, ding, ding. Carlos flinging has now become a sport hereditary. Do you imagine the fucking absolute like madness that would go down if there was like an Olympic sport of throwing tigers at people? Like, okay, yeah. This chap is a fucking faggot. We have our first eligible ban fan. Man, I wouldn't let you near me with a fucking 10-foot pole, you fucking ugly looking junky scumbag. Fuck you. Seriously. Telling me to paint monkey and all after, like, you know, you're actually scum. And I'm getting rid of you. That's actually like, you're some piece of shit, man. Like your ma's probably like dead right about you. Like,
get the right tools at Shopify.
absolute fuck game.
LinkedIn is the place to be. Start advertising on the highest
Put
returning
him in a
places.
24-hour timeout. I'll fucking ban him later. I'm not arse doing all. Hell yeah, like, that's happened so many times to me that like it's starting to make me fucking a bit bitter, where I'm like, I'm nice to people and I'll fucking do shit for them for like, and not expect anything. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, fucking throw me a super chat, fucking like send me something in the mail, whatever. Like, I don't even know when or how some people are gonna fucking pay me. Some things I've been waiting for a year for, like, do you know what I mean? Man, when I say I'm a merciful demigod, like, you've no fucking idea. Like, I should be way more fucking harsh with people. Fucking show up here and fucking say all that shit. And fucking me showing the painting and all that I've done for him and shit, like, you know. Ask and you shall receive, you know, from Defenderu, former god of PEINTEINGU. Like, I'm just getting, like, this is getting slapped up on eBay, like, do you know what I mean? Like, fuck that nigga. Like, that's fucking cool looking. I don't care what anyone says. And I didn't even put that much effort into it. It was like, oh yeah, fuck it, I'll do a Vegemite jar for the elf that's like, you know, fucking hanging around on the stream, like. And lo and behold, he turns out to be a fucking gimp. Not having it. Not at all, at all. Some people. Like, I even went onto one of his streams and was like chatting to him, and it was just me and him, and one other dude showed up, like, talking about, like, oh no way, I had a Voltron toy too, like, do you know what I mean? Just chilling, shooting the shit. And what do I get for it, like, you know? Nothing but disrespect and insults. PEINTEINGU, 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 PEINTEINGU. I've heard this term a lot lately, and that's pretty much like a real world, real time fucking example of that shit. Is like, no good deed goes unpunished. And that's what I did there. Some random fucking small time streamer, like, I'm not saying I'm not a small time streamer. That fucking idiot has more fucking subscribers than I do. God only knows how, you know? It's the same fucking shit everywhere. I has fucking millions of subscribers. He must be like, you know, must be good at it. The numbers do not count. It's the quality. That's how hordes work. That's how swarms work. Each individual is no better than a goddamn insect. We are not a horde. We are human. We are individuals. And you should behave as such. When you start to behave like a ignorant insect that just sheepily follows along and blames everyone else for their fucking problems, like I'm not broken, I'm allowed to be angry. When you look at the guy for 5 minutes and he openly says on stream, like, oh yeah, I crashed into a fucking tree at 100 miles an hour and I fucking broke myself up, like, so now we're just sitting in my van doing scratch cards and fucking trying to sell me Batman toys on eBay or some shit. Like, what a loser. These people have no honor. I don't know why I still. I don't know why. I don't know why I still expect people to like. I relate so much to Owen like that. I've done that so many times throughout my life where I have given stray degenerates way too much attention. You know, where I'm like, yeah, he looks like an absolute fucking methed out freak. Sure, he looks like fucking Axel Foley and fucking Cruella de Vil had a fucking baby. Sure, fucking he spends, you know, all of his fucking streams, like, I don't know, fucking just sitting there bitching about life, smoking and wasting his money. It's like, why wouldn't I give him a chance? Like, because I'm a fucking gullible, naive fool. That's why. My heart, despite decades of repeated injury, my heart is still full of love and hope, even though I'm not a hoper, you know? I don't hope. I either make shit happen or I have faith that it will happen. Fuck hope. There's a reason why the terms hopium and copium exist, and why it rhymes with opium. The opiate of the masses. Victimhood. An inability to take accountability for one's behavior, thoughts, and actions. Mortars. Despicable. That's why I love all these people in the bear. That's why I love you guys, like, do you know what I mean? All these fucking stories of, like, you know, oh yeah, like this happened and then this happened, but like I'm here now and I'm doing this. It's like, that's the fucking attitude you want. I came from this. I am now this. This bullshit of like, I'm allowed to be an absolute bellend. You keep lying to yourself. The only place you're going is the fucking ground, boy. All that muck you've been making, you're better off feeding yourself to it. the universe would benefit more. Oh, excuse me. Drugs are bad, okay? That's an A plus insult. Your mother's probably 100% right about you. I'd say, bro, you could just fucking. I know I just called you bro, Corbear, sorry. I wanted to be nice. I wanted to be chill. I wanted to like give him a chance and be like, "You want me to paint you a Vegemite jar? Fine, here you go. You don't have to like, you know, pay me a load of money. You could send me a super chat. You could like buy some stickers off my shop. You could do something, you know, instead of just being a moany little bitch in the chat and blaming all your problems on your mother and her boyfriend. Like, what age are you? Do you know what I mean? He looks like he's like late 30s. He looks older than me, late 30s or early 40s, and he's van lifing it. You're like, you know, oh, I'm a blacksmith. He doesn't look fucking strong, physically strong enough to pick up a fucking hammer. He looks like he can barely lift up what's left of his cock. And he's gonna come here and shit on me when I did that for him. What an absolute cock. Like, that's an example of an ungrateful victim mentality waste of space. Not here. Not on PEINTEINGU. Yeah, I am incredibly patient. I'm a fucking sniper, man. I loved fucking archery. You know, you draw the bow, wait till you could feel when it was like, you know, if you've ever like shot a gun or fired a bow and you're any good at it, and trust me, I'm really good at it. You know what I'm like, you'll know what I'm on about. Like, there is a moment where you control your breathing and you sync between like your heartbeat and your breathing and the target. The target's the only fucking thing you can see, and you hit it square in the middle. And there's few feelings that match that feeling, you know, especially for a man. That feeling of hitting the target right there. That's where I meant to put it. That's where I wanted to put it, and it went there. That's how I work. Paint. Yeah, that's putting the brutality in brutally honest. Well done, sir. I don't like being a dickhead, man, but I can be. Like, I can be a dick. I could fucking rip you apart. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I don't want to, though. Like, don't make me end you. Like, when you visit someone's house, you show respect. No difference on the webs. I know, but like, that's the thing, man. Is like, most people have actually, like, I know it's like a funny thing and all, but like, I'm actually being dead serious when I say that, like, if you have any honor, you'll pay for PEINTEINGU. And they're like, you know, if you don't show up for PEINTEINGU, you have no honor. Like, it's a bit of both. Like, you know what I mean? I'm ragging on the fact that one of the main things that's missing in today's society is a sense of honor, a sense of civility and honor. You know, like, if it's ridiculous to me. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if I don't like someone's fucking, if I went to someone's stream live, you know, that I can interact with, I'm not gonna fucking start some shit or like say some shit And then like in the beginning when he was like, you know, oh, do me a jar of Vegemite, and then he's like, oh no, don't do me anything because I can't pay for it. And it's like, so you can pay for cigarettes and you can pay for like fucking what, your blacksmith materials, and like you can fucking waste money on it. Literally has a stream episode called Let's Waste Some Money and just does scratch cards. That's like fucking insane to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, to actively engage in a behavior, to choose to engage in what you will admit is a wasteful behavior, and then at the same time bitch about, oh, like, I can't do this and I can't do that. And I'm like, I've seen people who look physically worse than him achieve great things. If Christian Bale can look like that motherfucker for an acting gig and then do something like Equilibrium or fucking Batman, anything's fucking possible. Do you mean, like, if I can do this after the fucking place I've come from, anything's fucking possible. That faggot is his biggest problem. Like, Puck Elf. Do you know what I mean? I knew he was weird. I'm fucking weird. I knew he was a bit fucking off. A bit fucking damaged. But his problem is he can't admit that he's a bit fucking weird and a bit fucking off. As far as he's concerned, the reason why he's thin is because he crashed into a tree. Well, why'd you crash into the tree, nigga? You know, oh, it wasn't my fault. I lost control of the truck. Really? Or did you not have the presence of mind to react accordingly? You know? That's the fucking question you gotta answer yourself. Well, everything happens for a reason. Yeah, what reason? Are you a thick cunt? Is that the reason? Are you an ungrateful, undisciplined wanker who blames everything that's negative in his life on something else or someone else, be it God, the government, your ma, faggot? The house defender built must be respected. In fairness, I didn't like. Well, I suppose I've built upon it. But like I said many times, this snowball was just handed to me and I let it roll downhill. Oh, you should do a painting stream. Yeah, sure, fine. You know? And then I do it and people are like, this is fucking awesome. Like, he's talking shit, he's painting flamingos, he's fucking like... If you can't appreciate the simple, like, well-intentioned, like, good nature, fun-loving nature of this stream, there's something fucking wrong with you, man. Like, and if you can't grasp the insane reality that you don't know me, you came to my stream and you just started hanging out with, like, me and my gang or whatever, like, you know, literally members of a community that I'm a part of, like, who have come to support me and shit, like, you know, and you're gonna sit in the stream and shit on me while I did this for you. Like, that level of, like, lack of fucking self-awareness, or even, like, willingness to care. Like, where's the respect? Where's the honor? That's my point. You clearly have no honor. Like, that's why I replied to him when he put a comment on the fucking YouTube video and he's like, oh my lord, how can Elf repay you or whatever. It's like, if you have any honor, you'll find a way. I don't care what it is. It just has to be something. You think I give a fuck if, like, 2 Acre in D-Bear fucking gives me a $5 one day and a $10 another day, or buys a hoodie another day? Like, you know, you think I'm sitting here being like, you know, well, he bought a hoodie, why didn't he buy another one? No, like, he bought something. That's all that matters to me. If you buy one thing, or you put one super chat in the fucking thing, you can chill here for fucking months and I won't say shit, you know? But when I do something for you and, like, nothing shows up on the other end, you fucking watch yourself, you dishonorable little shit. Who's calling me while I'm fucking live streaming? Hello? Hello? Hi, this is a call from Revolut. I don't have Revolut. Fucking world's gone mad. Time for the Banjamite hammer sandwich. Man, I actually love the name Japanites. I think it's fucking brilliant. We cannot change the nature of existence to a degree that would end those hardships without total extinction. It's like fucking, I just, you know, I totally resonate with the whole thing of like, stop trying to change the fucking world. Like, you know, just like change yourself, you know, be better, be like, you know, be the best you can be in your own, like in your immediate environment. In your immediate environment, be the best you can be every day. Like, and that's what I try to fucking do. And then when I come here, I'm trying to be like an even more exaggerated version of me, like, you know? Come to PEINTEINGU, bask in the glory of the heavenly right. Fucking witness a bear ring a gong, you know, like fucking Mad Tiger wearing a bucket, like, you know, I'm clearly taking the fucking piss for entertainment purposes. Absolute fucking madness, like. I'm calling about your car's extended, but dude, I don't have a driver's license. I'm like, I can't legally drive a car. Like, don't get me wrong, I can drive a car. If I got in a car, I could drive it somewhere, like, you know, but not legally. I literally feel like sometimes anytime somebody's like says something like that and it reminds me of that, like, it's like I walk everywhere. Like, I fucking, before I moved to Tipperary, I'd get the bus everywhere or whatever. I would walk somewhere like kilometers a day, you know. And I always think of that movie, Hard Target, with Jean-Claude Van Damme, where your one is in the car and he kicks the shit out of like 4 dudes in the fucking cafe, and then like agrees to help her or whatever, and then fucking or does he kick the shit out of them later? I can't remember, but like he agrees to help her, and she's like, all right, cool, yeah. So she gets to like get in the passenger seat, and she opens the door, and he just slams the door shut on her. He's like, I don't have a driver's license, ma'am. like he's an absolute badass, like former military, all this shit, like, but he's basically homeless and has no driver's license. I just I love, those are my favorite characters, like, do you know what I mean? Like, because I relate to that. I'm so disconnected from what most people are like, you know? And like, that's what you all have to give fucking Wishy props, because she's been with me for fucking 10 years, like, do you know what I mean? Like COVID was a fucking scenario, like, do you know what I mean? Like, fucking, that young one was terrified, like most people, like most, especially females. She was fucking terrified, right? And we went to this big shopping mall. It's called Dundrum Shopping Centre here. It's this big fucking shopping mall, like, full of people. It was fucking packed full of people, like, all wearing masks. Security officers everywhere. Like, every 25 feet, there was a guy in a high-vis who was like 6'4", 300 pounds, like, checking for people having fucking masks on. I walked through that whole fucking shop with me missus beside me, and she had even though I asked her, I was like, you don't need to wear it, don't wear it. And I could see how scared she was, and I was like, fine, I can't make you not wear it then, but I'm not fucking wearing it. And the two of us walked through the whole fucking shopping centre, and 3 fucking times I was stopped and be like, where's your mask? Have you got a mask? And all I said was this: I can't wear one. That's all I said. I looked them dead in the eye and I said, no, I can't wear one. And they were like, yeah, that's fine. And left me the fuck alone. You telling me that half the fucking planet doesn't have the balls to do that? Well, Jesus, competition's a bit fucking light these days. No wonder I'm crushing so hard. Because it's not like I actually am a demigod. I'm just some fucking dude from an island. Maybe Owen's right. Islanders are a bit fucking tapped. I'm behind 70 minutes. Oh, well, when you catch up, man, it's going to be fun. It's honk, honk, punch, punch, pet, pet. Oh, man. Griff has one of them laughs that, like, makes me feel better. Griff's laugh is so hearty, it's fucking brilliant. I fucking love it. Do you have a monthly sub deal yet? I will keep buying merch and supporting until there is. Well, I feel fucking bad now. You're fucking a little. Oh, I'm codependent on PEINTEINGU. I'm gonna need to start putting you on me fucking. You start claiming you as dependent and shit. Like, bro, it's all good. Like, I'll sort out that coffee thing or something. I don't know. That way you can all just like pay a $5 a fucking month or something. Like, I thought it was hilarious when Scouse was like, this should be on unauthorized or whatever. Like, and I was like, look, I'm flattered and humbled by the fact that you think it's good enough to be on the same channel that Owen's thing is on and Vox's thing is on and like fucking what's his fucking Razor Fist? I fucking love Razor Fist. He's hilarious. His fucking rants and monologues are absolutely brilliant. Like, and I you know, it is really nice and fucking. I appreciate it that people think that it's that level of quality and shit. But like, bro, like this is nothing. If I had more money, dear God. But it's like, you know, I need to work fucking way harder, you know? That's the simple reality. And I'll admit, like, a lot of the time I don't feel like I have the fucking energy, you know? Whether it be for all sorts of reasons, like. But it's the truth. I just need to work harder. You know, it's been, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks now, nearly, since I came out with my last symmetrical. And those are the things that make me proper money, like, you know? The last one I sold for fucking like €450, and that all goes back into like more paints, like whatever. Like I want to get a new fucking kimono, things and bits. It is like I want to get a mic, you know, maybe better lighting, shit like that. Like I want PEINTEINGU to be a genuine, like, you know, interactive like art show. Like how cool is that? Like, do you know what I mean? You guys get to suggest things that I paint live, like, you know, like people fucking love it. I love it, you know. So like, I want to keep doing it, and I want to fucking watch it grow and shit. But I'm not here to fucking empty people's pockets, like, you know, like I see these guys charging like 2-3 grand for an original painting. What does my painting go up for? 450 quid. Do you know why? It's not because I don't think I can charge fucking 2 or 3 grand and some lunatic won't fucking buy it. It's because I want people to be able to buy my stuff. You know? And like, other people think I'm crazy because of oh no, you should be charging way more for your art. Why? So some collector that I don't know can just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy that and put it in a hotel lobby or some shit. It's like, no, like if you're like a follower, you like my shit, and I put something out and I put an insane price tag on it, like I don't think that's cool. I want to put a price tag on it that someone could be like, okay, I can't afford it now, but like if I save up for a few weeks, I could buy that or whatever. And then some people can't afford it, you know? And that's why I do the merch. That's why I want to find a place that can do fucking really high quality prints, because like I'll sell the original for a couple of £100 and then sell all the prints for like 50, 60, 70, like depending on the size and shit. Like I've even thought about calling my online thing Affordable Alex. Swear to God. Because like I don't see the point in creating like really cool looking shit that no one can afford to buy. Like how does that make any sense? Like, do you know what I mean? Like the art industry is fucked. You have these like if Hunter Biden can put a painting together and then fucking sell the thing for like hundreds, like I know it's all like a scam and shit, but it's like that's the timeline we're in right now, where you have like you have people who will spend supposedly, like, even if it's not real money, I don't fucking know, but they'll like go mad over a banana taped to a wall. Like, what the fuck? Like, I love that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where fucking Frank dresses up as the fucking art collector. And he like comes in, he looks at the AC unit, the air conditioning unit, and he's like, "What's this?" Because that's what it is. It's like people pay like insane money for shit, for like utter shit. I pay £5 a month to support fucking Owen because I watch his streams like every day, every sec. I have to catch up on them because I'm not staying up to fucking watch the shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like I fucking know what real life is like. I've lived it for like 30 odd fucking years. Why would I paint like even like? Don't get me wrong, I'm never gonna charge fucking like a couple of grand for a PEINTEINGU or some shit like. But some of the symmetrical designs that have taken me about a week to put together, I could have easily charged fucking $2.5 grand for one, and some lunatic would have bought it. That's in my fucking social media would actually go out there. Stupid me for trying to be fucking, you know, just be me and be genuine, like, and watch my interaction plummet because I start saying words that people don't like. I like the sheer fact that I have my hair like this and I'm wearing a bandana and wearing a kimono and going, well, hello! Like, people call me racist. Like you fucking cook. Like what a fucking gimp. How is this not racist? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, everybody's seen that clip on the fucking internet of that Asian fella going, hey look, I'm white. Like, you didn't see anybody be like, that's racist, like, but a white guy fucking does anything and it's, oh my god, that's cultural appropriation, that's fucking racism. No, what that is funny, and what you are is fucking retarded. Need another sticker for my bike, waiting for the turtles or next symmetrical socket. Man, the turtles is going to be brilliant. I was designing some of the turtles last night, and I swear to God, like, it's just like, giving them abilities and all, and like fucking, oh man. I probably will end up designing a game one day, or something. I don't know, like, or at least help design a game, like, because like the fucking shit just flows out of me, and I fucking love it. Like, I just have a bunch of turtles now with like various capabilities and fucking stats and shit and weapons and stuff and all, like, and like, you've seen I put up the sniper one and the Spartan one and the fucking what's the other one? The commando one and the the radar pulse one or whatever. Like, I think that one turned out pretty cool. The ones I started drawing last night. So I've one turtle that just like has like a fucking builder's helmet on him. He has like a hard hat on him, and he just has a sledgehammer, and the sledgehammer says bonk on it. And like, he doesn't have any ranged weapons. He just like is immune to headshots from the front and can move really quickly. And if he gets to you, he can just like murder you in one hit. Like, and then the other one is like a fucking a grenadier type that can like launch time delayed grenades and a smoke grenade, you know. And it's like, I fucking love it, like, you know, like, it's fucking like, I really think I'm gonna fucking like like, if people look at me and then like learn about my early life or some shit, like, I'm what they call a late bloomer. Like, I'm fucking 32 and I'm like only now really like healing from some of the fucking shit like that happened to me, like, but I'm doing it in like a positive and constructive and productive way. And like, it's actually crazy the signs you get from whatever fucking God is. Like, It's fucking crazy. The sinks and stuff like that. Like, I get feelings where I'm just like, yeah, you're broke, but like, draw the turtles. Like, and it's because I know that's like, a few people will buy the t-shirt, and that will give me enough money to pay for the internet, and that will give me enough money to get some more paint, and that will give me enough money to do some more stuff. And the more stuff I do, the more people like will show up, and the more people will buy things, and the more people, the more things that people buy, the more things that I'll be able to buy, and like exponential growth, nigga. You don't get it, Paul Pot. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I get it. I fucking get it. I get how it works. You get what you put out, and what I put out is a fucking good-do. And if you think I'm wrong, you're probably a fucking asshole. I bet $1 that Bunter Hyden's art comes with a 15-minute phone call with his dad. Oh man, the fucking like. I just think that's hilarious. I completely agree with Owen. Like, in a way, like, I kind of admire the guy. I could just like imagine him, like, you know, banging 3 strippers and getting one of them pregnant in one night, and then like while they're asleep on the bed, he's just like banging rocks till like 4 o'clock in the morning, doing a painting, like just standing in the hotel room naked. Like, there's a reason why people love the fucking the Wolf of Wall Street movie. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you go hard at life and you're just like real about it, you don't lie about what you are. They're like, yeah, I'm a fucking degenerate, I'm an asshole, I love bitches, like this, that, and the rest. Like, then you still have a sense of honor about you because you're at least being honest, you know? That's why, like, I like Cat Williams, and a lot of what he said in that interview was, like, obviously blatantly true. You know, about, like, Satan can't create and he only mimics and shit like that. Like, I'm clearly not of that ilk. Like, do you know what I mean? I've got so much shit pouring out of my head on a daily basis. I have to pick which ones to do, you know? And the rest of it just gets left in this fucking miasmic fog that is my mind. Like, you know, like, the reason why I think I've a bit of demon in me is because of the way the world has made me feel. That's the truth of it. I was born a fucking energetic, giddy, naive lunatic. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just, like, mad ginger kid who just didn't get embarrassed, loved having fun, loved dressing up, loved playing with Lego. Do you know what I mean? Love making things. But also, because I'm a fucking male, I also love destroying shit. Who doesn't love watching something get blown the fuck up? You know? What this timeline, what this world does to people is it tempts you into becoming bitter and pessimistic and like accepting loneliness and narcissism and nihilism and all these fucking things. All you have to do on a daily basis is exactly what the Bible says, is resist the temptation to be a cunt. It doesn't take much. And that's quite honestly why I have fuck all respect for people like that fucking gimp. If you can't even muster up the energy to try and not be a cunt, then there's not much to be done with you, to be quite honest. I won't touch digital stuff. And that might seem retarded, and I don't care. I don't mind manipulating digitally stuff I've created with my hands. I.e., I will scan my paintings or my drawings, and then I'll, like, you know, maybe one day I'll get into animation or, like, you know, fucking graphics, you know, digitally morphing them or whatever, or putting different layers on them or some shit. I don't know. But, like, I refuse to do stuff on a tablet and call it like actual art or actual like, you know, actual creativity. The fucking thing does most of the work for you, you know. You want a perfect circle? Here you go. You want this? Here you go. You want that color? Here you go. You want the, like, it's so lazy, you know. And like, there's something about like, you know, I think now is the time. Like maybe I'm too early or maybe I'm too late. I don't fucking know. But like, I want PEINTEINGU to be like a lot of things. But one of the things I want PEINTEINGU to be is an example and a reminder that like these things here, this inside here and this, that's your power, you know. Like as a fucking human being, like you the hands, the mind and the heart, the will, like you can fucking take your environment and use tools and shit and you can make something fucking beautiful. Carve a bit of wood, do a fucking painting, all this fucking shit. And I know there's the argument that like just like paint and a brush and paper is technically technology, so too is a tablet. But there's something about the digital stuff. And like, I'm pretty sure I'm right because I'm a fucking gamer, you know? I love digital shit. But certain stuff shouldn't be digital. You know, like money. Chat has been cleansed this day, and there was much rejoicing amongst the chat. It was we just had a wart, a single weed, you know, that just need to be like just out. Like, it seems like your style would transfer well into that realm. I appreciate that you want to keep it real. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think I fucking like, especially with the symmetricals and stuff. I think I could make some sick looking stuff, like, you know what I mean? But it'd be too easy. I don't want it to be easy. I don't like things being easy. Don't get me wrong. After things have been hard for a while, part of me is like, fuck this shit, you know? Like, but like sometimes I can feel like I'm bashing my head against the wall or something to get a result. But I don't think I'd ever have it any other way, you know? I like hard mode. Why? Because the rewards are greater, you know? Like, sure, you could play on normal, you could play on easy, and you'll get X. But if you play on hard mode, you unlock a new character, and like you fucking get an extra inventory slot. Like, oh look, an extra mode. Like, you know, fucking. That's how my mind has been developed over the years. Is like there is always a benefit to being the outlier, to doing something like in a harder, less convenient, more like heart-driven way. Like, you know, yeah, sure, it can come across as stubbornness. Yeah, sure, it can come across as like even, you know, being foolish sometimes. Like, sometimes you should just like fucking accept the reality that like you could just, and, like, it's not like it's going to, like, you know, make you any less of a fucking painter or something. Like, you know, there's those things. But for the most part, yes, I don't just keep it real with my my opinions and what I think and all this fucking shit. I also want to keep it real with this stuff, you know. I mean, like, if you look at the first couple of PEINTEINGUs and then you look at the ones that I've been doing for the last couple of weeks or months or something, like, drastically different. And that's how I think, is like, I am quite patient. I'm kind of like a turtle. I like moving at a slow, steady pace and building to a climactic finish, you know? But not all the time, just most of the time. Sometimes I like being like the rabbit and just going blam, and it's like quick and executed cleanly. But like, there's just something about being the turtle and, you know, slow and steady wins the race, where it's like, you get to see more of the world. If you're paying attention, you'll pick up a lot more. you know? And like, if you've ever done fucking any like gymnastic exercises or calisthenics or any of that shit, like, you know, versus like just lifting heavy weights or some shit, slow, or if you've done Tai Chi or Qigong or something, slow, methodical, you know, very focused, concentrated movements over a long period of time are incredibly powerful. Can it be boring for some people? Sure. Does it require an intense amount of discipline and focus to like keep your mind on task over a long period of time? Yes. But like, there's a benefit, you know? You think my posture looks bad like sometimes on stream now? Like, you fucking can only imagine. I would look like a C if I didn't do the stuff I do. And the stuff I do takes like 45 fucking minutes sometimes. And you'd hear people be like, I don't have 45 minutes to do a fucking workout. Well, then you're not going to benefit from doing that kind of workout. I take the time to go for walks. I take the time to rest. I take the time to do these things. I take the time to do shit, you know, physically. Like, when I'm doing the fucking symmetricals, there's ways I could do them like that would make it easier. I could use a ruler or a fucking compass or any of these things to get perfect circles or perfect angles. I don't. I draw it again and again and again, and I rub it out, and I take my time and I draw it again and again and again. And then when I'm satisfied it looks clean enough to the human eye, that's what I'll fucking do. And some of my symmetricals look like fucking digital prints. Why? Because I'm fucking good. Why? Because I've taken the time to be. So much of our world right now is like, oh, just let me press the button and give me the thing. Where's the challenge in that? Where's the satisfaction in that? Like, you know? What you need is a fucking goal that takes some effort, that you learn things from. Play Dark Souls, bitches. Like, I'm back. What have I missed? Well, I've banished the elf. The elf got the ban fan. And since then, I've pretty much just been venting. There's been a lot of ranting today. That's why I don't have to work with my hands and be active. That's what I was like before I started painting. Every single time. I'm telling you the fuck up. That's why I worked in warehouses. That's why I when I was starting to look for jobs, that's why I worked in a bicycle shop. That's why I fucking found a building contractor to, like, you know, do stuff with. Like, I'm the fucking same, bro. Like the only reason why I would sit in place for long periods of time to do anything is video games or watching movies. Because at least then your mind is really active, you know? And it's like, if you're just sitting at a desk and all you're doing is protocol and filing and like answering emails and shit, it sucks the soul out of you, you know? And people notice, but they just don't care enough, like, do you know what I mean? And it's the same with everything else. It's like, the reason that one of the biggest reasons why the media is so shit right now, and one of the biggest reasons why fucking certain systems in our society are so shit right now, is because we collectively chose to, like, well, we did and we didn't. I mean, there's a lot of us that didn't choose to do that, and like, that's why we're in the position we're in. But like, you get where I'm coming from. It's like, it's no one individual's fault, you know? And good luck fucking just blaming, you know, demons. And it's like, oh, the devil made me do it. It's like, no, bitch. It's like, you make choices, you make decisions, you take action or don't take action, and the action or non-action has consequences. And then you have to deal with those consequences, which requires more action or non-action. Sometimes the way you respond to something is by doing nothing, you know? Sometimes the guy throws a jab and you just lean out of the way. Like, well, I suppose that's still doing something. But you get where I'm coming from. It's not like you don't have to counter punch or block or whatever. Like, you know, sometimes the option is just no be there, you know? Best way to not get hit, no be there. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I wish I could have avoided getting myocarditis and all this fucking shit. Why do I have heart problems now? Because you chose to do what they told you to do instead of doing what you felt was right in your fucking heart and soul, you know? That's why we're here. Because the majority of people just cooked themselves into oblivion. Because the majority of people chose the easier option. Because the majority of people chose to be a coward, you know? Chose to fucking like, well, what if this happens? Well, what if I do this and then they take it away? Yeah, what if? The amount of times I've had a what if in my fucking like in my life, and the amount of times I was just like, no, fuck this, and I made a decision, and I do. I fucking live with the consequences of my actions, you know, and I'm happy. Like a lot of people, like I completely understand like where Owen's coming from. It's like constant. I'm not like I'm not actually angry. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not Owen, and I am still a bit angry. Like, do you know, I have anger, lots of anger. You know, but like I do not exist in a state of perpetual like fuck the world and it did me wrong and all that shit. I used to. I no longer do that, and now I'm here doing this. You know, that says something. If I was still behaving the same way the fucking elf was fucking behaving, like you can hear it in your tone of voice, you can hear it in your speech patterns, you can notice it in the body language and the choices. If you just pay attention to what's actually going on, it's not that difficult to break down. You don't have to be a fucking genius to realize this shit, you know? Like, and I'm definitely not a fucking genius. I've never regarded myself as particularly intelligent, but people keep telling me I'm really smart and fucking creative and all this fucking shit, and I'm like, really? All right, I believe you. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still me. Like, I'm still wandering through the realm, ignorant, naive, gullible, all these fucking things, and I'm learning and I'm growing and all this fucking shit. Like, you know, and you get wankers who are like, you know, fucking, oh, you know, you'll learn that it's this and that. It's like, well, you sound like a bitter old cunt. I don't want to be you. It's ridiculous to me. It's utterly ridiculous to me, like how most people just have chosen to behave now, like, you know, when you can just look at reality and be like, all right, well, that clearly doesn't work, and that clearly doesn't work, and those people are clearly insane. But then everybody starts doing mad shit anyway, and you're kind of just like, you know what? This thing you call society, I'm gonna lean back and check out a bit, you know, like, like when you have all these humans behaving like animals, there is a sense of like, all right, well, I don't want to be what you call human anymore. I'm going to define my own version of human, you know? And I'm not the only one. I'm not the only fucking one. There are many of us, and we are not legion. Uh, vent, vent. Paint, paint. Sip, sip. Vent, vent. It's Friday. I'm preparing. I'm preparing to fucking like wind down for the weekend. I'm just getting it all out. Like, oh fuck. No, yeah, the elf's behavior just set me off. I find that incredibly dishonorable and ungrateful, and that is why he's been banned. And I'm 23 minutes over. Fuck. Right. I have to go get shit for the dinner. I have shit to do, so I must, unfortunately, call it a day. So this has been Paintingu. I have been Defenderu. I hope you enjoyed Ingu, and I bid you farewell. If you would like to support Paintingu, link in description. If you would like to buy my merchandise, link also in description. Carlos bids you farewell, as well as I. And Mini Beru, ringer of the gongu, wave bye to the furry Beru. I shall see you 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. GMT. Same time, same place, Monday. Be there if you have any honor. In the meantime, be good, be true, and be beautiful. And I'll catch you there.